The storm struck before dawn, tearing the forest into fragments of fear. Trees snapped like brittle bones. Branches fell in violent bursts, shredding nests into the void. Life clawed at survival, gasping in the black wind. Emma said, "The nest must hold, or all is lost." Her breath trembled as feathers scattered. Daniel said, "The sky wants to take everything from us." His voice was jagged, shredded like the storm's howl. In the chaos, the newborn chick whimpered, a sound drowned in thunder. The earth itself shook as roots tore from soil. Each flash of lightning carved terror into the sky, splitting shadows across the ground. The storm was merciless, a predator without eyes, without reason. Emma said, "Hold tight, little one, hold tight." Her words were desperation, not comfort. Daniel said, "Nature is no guardian. It takes more than it gives." The night gave no answer. Only the wind's rage filled the void. Nothing stood safe, nothing promised mercy. Survival here was a debt paid in suffering. Morning broke gray, the storm's rage still echoing in broken branches. Emma said, "The nest is gone, but we must build again." Daniel said, "The storm left us alive, nothing more." The chick whimpered, weak, yet clinging to life. Silence pressed heavy, the forest stripped bare. Fallen trees lay shattered, roots like corpses pulled from earth. Emma said, "This ground still holds us, so we rise." Daniel said, "Every rise invites another fall." Their words hung like mist in cold air. Survival was no gift, only a reprieve. The silence of dawn was fractured by the cries of other creatures mourning. "Ain." Emma said, "They too have lost." Daniel said, "Loss is the song of this place." The chick stirred faintly, fragile breath rising. The ground was littered with remnants of nests, shattered shells, and broken wings. Each fragment was a testament to the storm's cruelty. Emma said, "We are not alone in this suffering." Daniel said, "But alone we will face what comes." Shadows stretched long, marking the forest floor with scars. Hunger gnawed quickly as the storm had stripped the forest bare. Emma said, "The little one cannot last without food." Daniel said, "Predators will circle when weakness shows." Their voices trembled with urgency. The chick whimpered, its cry faint but piercing in emptiness. The forest floor was scattered with fallen branches, but no nourishment. Emma said, "We must search, though danger waits." Daniel said, "Every choice risks death." Each word was a thread in a fragile web of survival, stretched thin by the day's beginning. The forest stilled unnaturally, as though even the wind feared to move. Emma said, "It is too quiet." Daniel said, "Quiet hides the teeth of hunters." The chick shifted, fragile wings twitching in restless sleep. Shadows lengthened as clouds thickened overhead. The silence was not peace, but warning. Emma said, "We must choose, stay in ruin or risk the open." Daniel said, "Every step into light may be our last." The weight of unseen danger pressed heavy, marking the dawn with dread. The storm had passed, but its cruelty remained etched in silence. Emma said, "The little one breathes, and that is enough to fight for." Her wings trembled as she stroked the chick's frail body. Daniel said, "The nest lies in ruin, yet our bond must be rebuilt." He perched rigidly, feathers slick with dew. The forest smoldered in morning light, its wounds visible in broken limbs and uprooted earth. Emma whispered, "Each dawn is borrowed, yet still a dawn." Daniel replied, "The world offers no mercy, only moments." The chick whimpered softly, an ember of life flickering beneath shadow. Around them, predators stirred unseen, waiting for weakness. Emma said, "We cannot lose hope." Daniel said, "Hope is fragile, like feathers torn in the wind." Still, he shielded the ground where the chick lay. Their breaths mingled with fog as the forest groaned, alive with hidden threats and unhealed scars. The forest whispered in hushed breaths of loss. Emma said, This place mourns as we do. Her gaze traced the broken canopy where sunlight once danced. Daniel said, "The silence speaks louder than cries." He shifted uneasily, talons scraping bark. The chick stirred faintly, eyes still shut, chest rising in tiny shudders. Emma said, "This one life must be guarded." Daniel said, "Predators hunger when morning dulls the senses." His feathers bristled at unseen movement. The trees sagged under storm scars, dripping steady streams like tears. Emma whispered, "Every branch remembers what was taken." Daniel muttered, "And every shadow waits to take more." The air was heavy, pressing survival into their bones. Hunger gnawed like a second storm, relentless and sharp. Emma said, "The little one weakens with each hour." She brushed her wing across the chick's trembling form. Daniel said, "To search is to risk everything." His talons clutched tight, unwilling to leave. Emma answered, "To stay is to let hunger claim us." Daniel growled, "The forest is no longer shelter. It is a snare." The chick whimpered, its sound brittle as cracking twigs. Emma's eyes shone with desperation. She said, "I will go if you will not." Daniel's voice hardened, "Together or not at all." Their words were strained threads of unity, woven against despair. Above, the sky grew pale but unkind. The forest floor promised danger with every shadow. The forest shifted, alive with unseen movements. Emma said, "We are watched." Daniel said, "Always. Weakness is never hidden." The chick stirred, fragile wings twitching as hunger gnawed deeper. Emma whispered, "Its cry will draw them." Daniel's eyes narrowed. Predators circle where innocence lingers. The ground crackled under faint steps, distant yet certain. Emma's heart beat in her feathers, quick and uneven. She said, "We must act before we are chosen." Daniel said, "Every move is wagered against death." Silence thickened, wrapping their bodies in dread. The chick whimpered again, sharp against the still air. Shadows stretched long, curling into threat. Emma pressed her wing close, bracing for the unseen. Shadows parted as a rival's cry split the air, sharp and cold. Emma said, "Another claims this ground." Daniel said, "Then blood will claim it too." His feathers rose, talons curling into bark. The chick whimpered, hidden in trembling silence. Emma whispered, "Not now, not when we are broken." Daniel growled, "The forest gives no pause." Branches rattled as the rival drew nearer, its presence carved in echo. Emma said, "If we fall, the little one ends with us." Daniel's gaze hardened, "Then we do not fall." The air turned electric, still yet heavy. Every breath quivered with danger. The rival emerged from the undergrowth, feathers blackened like smoke, eyes sharp with hunger. Emma said, "It comes for what little we have left." Daniel said, "Then it comes for a fight." The rival's wings flared wide, claiming the ground with menace. The chick whimpered, pressed deeper into Emma's body. Emma whispered, "Stay hidden, little one, Tiwol." Daniel's chest rose, breath heavy, talons tightening against bark. The rival croaked, its voice jagged, a sound of conquest. Emma said, "We are not ready." Daniel answered, "Survival waits for no readiness." Silence stretched, torn only by the rival's hiss. The forest leaned in, as if watching the battle unfold. The rival advanced, steps deliberate, wings dragging leaves in its wake. Emma said, "Its hunger burns." Daniel growled, "Then let it choke on our fury." The chick whimpered, fragile and unseen beneath trembling feathers. The rival snapped its beak, a sharp echo cutting the silence. Emma said, "We cannot lose, not now." Daniel's voice turned to steel, "We have nothing else to give but resistance." The rival hissed, circling slowly, eyes never leaving them. Each heartbeat thundered like drums of war. The forest seemed smaller, tighter, every shadow drawing closer. Emma pressed her wing down over the chick. Daniel stepped forward, his stance wide, unyielding. The clash erupted in a blur of wings and shrieks. Emma cried, "Daniel, hold strong!" Daniel roared, "It will not take what is ours." Feathers ripped free as Daniel struck, claws slicing air. The rival answered with a vicious slash, forcing Daniel back. Emma's heart pounded, her body pressed low over the chick. The forest erupted with chaos, leaves tearing free, branches shattering under furious wings. The rival hissed, "You are weak." Daniel spat, "Weakness still bleeds with teeth." Their bodies collided again, raw survival tearing through silence. Emma trembled, whispering to the chick, "Close your eyes, do not watch." Daniel faltered, chest slashed by rival's claws. Emma cried, "No!" Blood streaked his feathers, glistening dark in faint light. The rival pressed forward, merciless, its eyes blazing hunger. Daniel growled, "I will not fall." His wings flared again, despite pain tearing through him. The chick whimpered, voice piercing like a broken flute. Emma whispered, "Stay alive, Daniel." Daniel answered, "Life demands cost." His body shook, feathers torn, but his stance remained. The rival hissed with satisfaction, circling closer. The forest floor darkened as clouds swallowed the sky. Every breath became a knife, every second a war. The battle crescendoed as Daniel lunged, fury in every feather. Emma shouted, "Strike now!" His talons clashed with the rival's, the sound sharp as shattered stone. The rival screeched, wings slashing, trying to overpower. Daniel snarled, "Not while breath fills me." Their struggle churned earth into chaos, feathers littering the ground. Emma trembled, pressing tighter over the chick. The rival hissed, "Your strength wanes." Daniel replied, "Strength endures where love binds." The forest howled with the violence, branches bending, leaves scattering like ash. At the center, life balanced on the edge of ruin. The rival's strike faltered, not from weakness, but hesitation. Emma said, "Why does it pause?" Daniel groaned, blood soaking his chest. "Its hunger is not the only weight it carries." The rival's eyes flickered with a secret, glancing toward the shadows. Emma whispered, "Another waits for it." The forest revealed a hidden truth. The rival was not alone. A faint cry, thin and desperate, broke from the undergrowth. The rival's wings lowered slightly, its glare shifting from prey to something more fragile. Emma said, "It protects as we do." Daniel rasped, "Predator and parent share the same war." The storm's cruelty was mirrored in every nest, every creature struggling to keep life aflame. Silence pressed with revelation, heavy and sharp. The rival hissed, not of conquest but warning. Emma said, "It guards another life." Daniel growled, "Then hunger cuts both of us." The rival spread its wings wide, not to strike, but to block the path to its own. A second chick whimpered, nearly hidden beneath debris. Emma whispered, "It carries the same burden." Daniel muttered, "The hunter is also hunted by fate." The forest shifted in silence, truth dripping heavy as dew. The air thickened with the revelation that survival was not victory but endurance, carried equally by all. The rival lowered its head, a gesture neither submission nor surrender, but recognition. Emma's heart thudded, seeing her enemy mirrored in her own struggle. The forest seemed to breathe, unveiling truth as if long withheld. Emma whispered, "It fights for its own blood." Daniel gritted his beak. "So the war is mirrored." The rival's gaze locked with Daniel's, two fathers divided by hunger, joined by fear. The chicks whimpered in unison, cries almost identical. Emma said, "Life binds enemies with the same chain." The rival hissed, yet did not strike. Daniel muttered, "It bleeds with reason as I do." For a fleeting moment, the battlefield became a sanctuary of recognition. Predator and prey blurred, becoming parents standing in the same storm. The revelation burned heavier than the fight, reshaping the silence with uneasy kinship. The rival turned slightly, its body still tense, its wings trembling as if torn between violence and duty. Emma said, "It does not want this fight." Daniel, panting, answered, but hunger drives more than will. The rival lowered its head, eyes sharp with grief, revealing a wound along its flank. Blood darkened its feathers, marking it vulnerable. Emma whispered, "It bleeds too." Daniel said, "The shadow is no monster, it is survival itself." The rival hissed once more, not in threat but in pain. The forest echoed its cry, carrying truth through hollow branches. The storm had not spared either nest, and every life balanced on the knife edge of survival. The air grew still, truth settling heavy. Emma said, "We fight the same storm." Daniel rasped, "Enemies are born from the same hunger." The rival lifted its gaze, fierce but no longer merciless. Its chick whimpered again, a fragile echo of Emma's own. Emma whispered, "Life binds us even as it tears. Daw." The rival did not retreat, nor strike, but stood guard over its own blood. Daniel's body swayed, feathers heavy with blood and rain. Emma pressed tighter over her chick, heart aching with revelation. The forest groaned, its silence now filled not with menace but with weary recognition. Survival was not conquest, but enduring together in fragile balance. The fragile truce shattered when the forest screamed again, a hawk diving with talons stretched wide. Emma cried, "Another comes." Daniel rasped, "This is no rival, this is death itself." The rival shrieked, leaping to shield its chick. Emma pressed low, covering hers with trembling feathers. Daniel lunged upward despite his wound, wings flaring against the predator. The hawk's shadow split the clearing, vast and merciless. Emma whispered, "It wants them all." Daniel growled, "Then it will face us all." The rival hissed in agreement, their feud forgotten in the storm of survival. The chicks whimpered in unison, fragile sparks at the edge of the void. The hawk struck like thunder, talons slashing air. Daniel roared, "Strike together!" Emma cried, "Keep them hidden!" The rival launched upward, wings beating furiously, colliding with the hawk midair. Feathers burst into the wind, black and gold scattering like ash. Daniel leapt to join, blood streaming from his chest yet claws slashing with ferocity. Emma pressed lower, shielding her chick, whispering, "Do not look." The forest roared with the sound of combat, every branch trembling as wings beat violently. The hawk screeched, its shadow swallowing the ground. Daniel cried, "It will not take us." The rival's cry echoed in defiance, raw and primal. The hawk struck Daniel hard, claws tearing across his wing. Emma cried, "Daniel!" His body reeled, but he forced himself higher, eyes blazing. The rival screeched, slamming into the hawk's side, beak snapping with fury. Emma whispered, "Stay alive, please." Her chick whimpered beneath her feathers, tiny cries drowned by the chaos above. Daniel gasped, "It will not break me." He lashed again, claws scoring the hawk's chest. Blood spattered, crimson against gold. The hawk shrieked, enraged, its wings whipping the air like storms. The rival's body shook under the weight, but it refused to yield. Emma's heart pounded, every beat a prayer of survival. The rival screamed as the hawk's talons pierced its side. Emma gasped, "No." Daniel roared, "Hold, hold." The rival bled, feathers torn, yet still it fought, striking again and again. Its chick whimpered from below, fragile and terrified. Emma whispered, "It gives itself for life." Daniel snarled, "Sacrifice right survival." The hawk screeched, flinging rival aside, but the black-feathered body twisted back, refusing to fall. Emma pressed tighter over her own chick, trembling at the sight of devotion mirrored even in an enemy. The sky shook with the storm of their battle, wings blotting out the pale daylight. Every second stretched, straining between hope and despair. Daniel lunged one final time, claws digging deep into the hawk's breast. The rival slammed upward, wings beating with last desperate force. Emma cried, "Now!" Together they drove the predator backward, its cry shattering the forest. The hawk reeled, blood spraying as it staggered into the air. It beat its wings, retreating into storm-gray clouds, shrieking rage. Daniel gasped, body trembling, chest soaked red. The rival sagged, feathers falling like shadows, but still shielded its chick. Emma whispered, "We endured." Daniel rasped, "At a cost." The chicks whimpered in unison, fragile yet alive. The forest exhaled, silence broken only by the beating of two frail hearts that survived the storm. The forest stilled, silence pressing heavy after chaos. Emma whispered, "It is gone." Daniel panted, chest torn, "But so is our strength." The rival staggered, blood streaking its feathers, shielding its chick with trembling wings. The chicks whimpered in fragile unison, breaths shallow but alive. Emma said, "We survived, but not unchanged." Daniel groaned, "Survival is no triumph. It is loss with breath left behind." The rival's eyes softened, no longer predator, only parent. Emma pressed close to her chick, her body trembling but steadfast. The storm had passed, yet the ruin remained. Broken branches lay across the soil, feathers scattered like ghosts. Nature had demanded its price, and both families had paid. The forest whispered again, not in menace but in mourning. Emma said, "Every branch holds memory of loss." Daniel murmured, "Blood stains more than soil, it stains the heart." The rival bowed its head, body quivering with pain. Its chick whimpered softly, a sound of life fighting against silence. Emma pressed her wing tighter over her own, whispering, "Breathe, little one." Daniel sighed, "Breath is all we can give." The air thickened with the weight of inevitability. Survival was no victory, only continuation. Each heartbeat echoed sacrifice, marking time not in triumph, but endurance. Emma said, "The storm took, yet it left this fragile ember." Daniel swayed, body collapsing under his wounds. Emma gasped, "Daniel." He groaned, "I will stand until the breath leaves me." Blood dripped steadily, soaking earth dark beneath him. The rival lifted its gaze, silent, watching the weight of sacrifice. Emma said, "Do not leave us." Daniel rasped, "Survival costs more than life. It costs love itself." His eyes softened, fierce yet fading. Emma pressed close, feathers brushing his, trembling. The chicks whimpered again, fragile cries weaving sorrow into silence. The forest seemed to bow, branches heavy with grief. Time slowed, every moment, a fragile thread between life and ending. The rival shifted forward, lowering its wings slightly, not in threat but in acknowledgement. Emma said, "Even enemies bow to loss." Daniel whispered, "It carries the same grief." The rival's chick whimpered faintly, its cry merging with Emma's own. For a fleeting heartbeat, no borders existed, only survival bound by sorrow. Emma whispered, "The forest does not choose sides, it only consumes." Daniel muttered, "We endure because we must, not because we win." The rival croaked low, its voice broken, filled with recognition. Emma pressed her wing tighter over the chick, trembling with the weight of fragile truth. The last light faded, night rising over ruin. Emma whispered, "The storm is done, but its echo lives." Daniel rasped, "What remains is not victory, but memory." His breath shuddered, body trembling in final defiance. The rival lifted its head once more, guarding its chick with fading strength. Both families lingered, bound in silence, not allies, not enemies but survivors, carved from the same storm. Emma pressed her wing firmly across her chick, eyes wet with sorrow, whispering, "Live, little one. Live where we cannot." The forest closed in with night, shadows claiming broken branches, silence pressing eternal. Night draped the forest in silence, broken only by shallow breaths. Emma whispered, "The storm has ended, but its mark endures." Daniel's voice trembled, "Our blood stains the earth, yet life still stirs." His eyes dulled, but his chest rose faintly. The rival crouched low, shielding its own fragile one. Emma pressed her wing tightly around her chick, murmuring, "You will live where we falter." The forest seemed to listen, trees bending with the weight of memory. Daniel whispered, "The world takes, but it also leaves echoes." The rival hissed softly, not threat, but recognition. Two families lingered, bound in loss and fragile survival. The night became their witness, eternal and unforgiving. The moonlight bled silver across broken branches. Emma said, "Every shadow remembers." Daniel rasped, "What is gone does not vanish, it lingers here." His feathers trembled with exhaustion, blood soaking into soil. The rival's chick whimpered, its cry mingling with Emma's own. She whispered, "Even the smallest breath defies death." Daniel closed his eyes briefly, whispering, "Let the little ones carry what we cannot." The rival bowed its head, silent acknowledgement binding them. The forest sighed, heavy with ghosts yet alive, with fragile sparks of endurance. Emma whispered, "Let the echoes remain long after us." The silence agreed. Daniel's breath faltered, each one a battle. Emma said, "Stay, please." He whispered, "I have stayed long enough." His eyes softened, fixed on the chick's fragile form. Emma trembled, pressing tighter around their child. The rival watched in silence, understanding written in its wounds. Daniel said, "Survival is not mine, but theirs." His body shook, but his voice steadied. Emma whispered, "Then your strength lives in them." The forest grew still, as if bowing to his final words. Daniel closed his eyes, chest rising one last time. Silence struck sharp, unrelenting, echoing louder than thunder. The silence after Daniel's fall was heavier than the storm. Emma whispered, "He is gone." Her voice trembled but did not break. The chick whimpered, fragile life pressed against her chest. The rival shifted, wings quivering, bowing slightly toward Daniel's still form. Emma said, "Even enemies honor the fallen." The rival's chick peeped weakly, its cry echoing Emma's. She whispered, "The night carries his strength." The forest did not roar, it did not weep, it only stood in eternal witness. Emma pressed close, eyes burning, whispering, "You will not be forgotten." The words lingered sharp, cutting the silence like a blade. Dawn threatened at the edge of the horizon, pale light bleeding into night. Emma whispered, "Another day begins." Her feathers sagged, yet her eyes fixed on the chick beneath her wing. The rival lifted its head, body battered, chick trembling faintly at its side. Emma said, "We remain, though broken." The rival hissed low, an echo of agreement. The forest exhaled, carrying the weight of what had passed. Emma whispered, "Let the echo of this night live." Her chick whimpered softly, voice rising into dawn's silence. The rival's chick answered faintly, two fragile cries merging into one. The forest listened, carrying them into eternity.